Agendaல போயிட்டு speaker, enter as speaker.
Sir, ask them to enter into agenda and go to track 4.
We are not live yet.
I think we should be live because the live streaming has started.
We are live, actually. We are live. Yeah.
Okay, very good.
So do we need to wait for the others to join?
We could give them just a couple of minutes, Priya. A couple of minutes, they should be here, I think. Otherwise, we can start. They don't join by.
So would you need any instructions further for them? You are muted.
So somebody has to call and guide them. Satyanarayana is here. So just now Vinay Murali is finding it difficult to come in. That's what he says.
So he needs to go to agenda and go to track 4 and he'll be able to see himself as a speaker there.
Agenda, track 4 and one speaker அப்படிங்கிறது போட்டு இருக்கும். So you please join.
Can we start with the introductions, if that's okay with
you? Yeah, sure, please.
So,
please go ahead.
I'm sure we've got people on the audience also, and welcome to all of you. Thank you so much for coming on the Women Economic Forum. We have this session on the Workbench Project, the art of restoring the violin. And our eminent speakers is Dr. Ranjini Sriram. She is the Vice President, HR and Administration for SK Design and Structures Private Limited. We're joined by Vidwan GJR Krishnan, who is the Indian Carnatic classical violinist. We've got Mr. Satyanarayanan, who's also a violinist and a violin maker. We would be joined by Mr. Ranjit, who is a violin maker, by Mr. Vinay M, who is a violin maker and an artist, and Mr. Murli, who's a violin maker. So I would really like to request Ranjini to take over. Over to you, Ranjini. Thank you so much, and look forward to this session where we're going to learn about violins. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Priya. Thank you for the introductions. Thank you. Namaskaram. It's before I start introducing the Ludias and Lalgudi Sri Krishnan sir, I would like to set a small context on this program itself. So this is a very, very different kind of a topic. I don't think anyone has done such a topic in an economic forum like this. And why it is related to an economic, what do I say, fabric, and why it is important, I think we will learn as we go by, and we'll start talking about the project itself as Sri Lalgudi sir starts throwing more light on that, the project. So it is something that is so useful to the violinists, the violin makers, the Ludias as they are called, and also for the country, which is so musically, what do I say, has talented people. So it's going to be making so much sense to a whole lot of community as we start talking about this topic itself. So namaskaram sir, Lalgudi sir, namaskaram, and namaskaram Satyanarayana sir, and welcome to the show. And I would start by introducing Mr. Lalgudi Sri Krishnan. I don't think Sri Krishnan sir needs an introduction at all, because he is one of the foremost Indian Carnatic classical violinists today, with a performing career that spans about 50 years. That is a lot. He's a son and disciple of late Padma Bhushan Lalgudi Sri Jayaraman sir, and is a leading representative, along with his sister Srimati Lalgudi Vijayalakshmi, of the Lalgudi Bani or Dharana, He represents the 5th generation of violinists in a family that traces back to the great 19th century composer Saint Tyagaraja. World-renowned, he has performed all over India and abroad, including highly prestigious international venues such as Lincoln Center and the Smithsonian Center in the United States and the Concert Bow in the Netherlands. He has had the honor of representing nation in the numerous festivals of India, UK, USA, the former USSR, Greece, and Syria. He has composed and conducted instrument. Just a second, please. He has composed and conducted instrumental ensembles in Singapore and India, and has composed, recorded, and released a unique album of classical instrumental pieces named Ragarasa for Times Music. Sri Lalgudi Sri Krishnan, along with Srimati Lalgudi Vijayalakshmi, are the torch bearers of the venerable Lalgudi Bani or Gharana. The Bani is rooted firmly in the Gayaki Ang, emphatic in assigning primacy to the lyrical, melodic, as well as rhythmic aspects of music. Together, they are not merely preserving and nurturing the rich Bani's finest elements, but we're evolving it further by building on the great foundation laid by their father, Sri Lalgudi Jayaraman. Their musical style today is a beautiful blend of contrasts, every bit classical, but also refreshingly contemporary, minimalist in its philosophy, but intricately complex and layered. Their duets are a celebration of both the beauty of duality and the appeal of individual identity. Sir, I'm having goosebumps all over when I'm reading this, and truly, truly great, and I'm so honored. He has received numerous awards over the years, including the Sangeeta Natak Academy Award from the President of India, the coveted Indira Sivasailam Medal from the Indira Sivasailam Foundation, and the first ever instrumentalist to receive the award. The Sangeeta Chudamani, the Kalki Krishnamurti Award, Kalaimamani, which is a Tamil Nadu ELSI Nataka Mantrams Award, and many, many more. He is the top-ranked artist with All India Radio. As a leading musician and violinist, Lalgudi Sri Krishnan has devoted considerable effort and energy to serving the art form and music community in several ways. First, as a guru, he has taught and trained many students from India, the UK, Germany, USA, Canada, and Australia, who are leading artists in their own right today. Second, he has actively lectured in the universities, as in US, UK, and Australia, and presented invited papers in several conferences, including ones held by Sangeeta Natak Academy. Third, as a trustee of Lalgudi Trust, he has focused on issues of social responsibility and the importance of nurturing young talent, and has created endowed prizes in several sabhas for young aspiring violinists. The Lalgudi Trust also sponsors youth musical festivals, such as the Violin Vaibhavam, co-sponsored along with Kritagnya Trust, founded by Srimati Lalgudi Vijayalakshmi, which offers a platform for young violinists from various different banis to perform violin solos. Last, but certainly not the least, is a service to India's strings community. Entrenched as the violin is in Carnatic music for a century, the broader ecosystem supporting these stringed instruments has unfortunately languished. Violinists the world over rely on great craftsmen known as luthiers, to build and maintain concert-grade instruments. Indian violins unfortunately could not and had to rely on access to Western luthiers during their concert tours abroad. Having experienced this difficulty firsthand, Sri Lalgudi Krishnan took it upon himself to remedy the situation. Under the auspices of All Lalgudi Trust, he organized 2 to 3 workshops, 2 to 3 week workshops in Chennai in the years 2013, 2015, 2016, 17, and 2019. Leading American luthier James Wimmer conducted these workshops, which have been free for the carefully selected local craftsmen who attended. In the last such workshop in 2019, 4 craftsmen were given intense training over 6 weeks, which culminated with each of these artisans making one-hand copy each of the Stradivarius violin right here in India. Highly specialized equipment and repair tools have also been donated to these craftsmen, so that they may utilize their newly acquired training to benefit the string instruments community. This is a landmark achievement that goes a long way towards bringing the strings ecosystem forward and serves to highlight Sri Lalgudi Krishnan's um, dedicated leadership, initiative, and service to the professional music community. This is just what do I say, a tip of the iceberg about the achievements of Lalgudi Sri Krishnan sir. And today we are going to be talking about the Workbench Project, which we just discussed, and that's going to be the topic for today. And the next person I would like to introduce is the master luthier, James Wimmer himself. James Wimmer, and a professional violin maker from Santa Barbara, California. He has been providing his invaluable services to the music community for well over 4 decades now. Trained in Germany under the expert mentorship of master violin makers Wolfgang Jubel, whose family history of violin making can be traced back to the year 1710, and Herbert Rainer Nobel, Mr. Wimmer brings this old world tradition of classical violin construction to bear in his concert quality instruments today. The traditional methods, tools, and choice, European tonehoods he uses result in remarkable instruments of great sonority and classical visual beauty. He has made over 200 instruments, including violins, violas, cellos, baroque instruments, baroque stringed instruments, and the Hubert Schweyer Quartet. I think Sri Lalgudi Krishnan sir will be able to pronounce this better. Matched set of 2 violins, violas, and cello. His clients include well-known musicians from various different styles all over the world. Apart from his skills in making instruments, Mr. Wimmer is also a well-known fiddler in the old-time American and Irish musical styles and can play the guitar and sarod very well. While Mr. Wimmer resides in the United States and has traveled all over the world, his heart has always been in India and its rich culture and heritage. His love for Carnatic music that began with a trip to India in 1980 enabled him not only to learn this art form over the years, but also to share his encyclopedic knowledge of violin making, repair, and restoration to hand-picked craftsmen from South India, the Violin Wise project made possible by the Lalgudi Trust. At this point, I would like Sri Lalgudi Krishnan sir to share a message from Mr. James Wimmer himself.
Good morning, everybody. Good morning, everybody. Thank you, Dr. Rajneesh, for this wonderful introduction. It's such a great pleasure to address all of you. I have a message from Jim G, as we affectionately call him, James Wimmer of Santa Barbara. I'm going to read out the message. It gives me great pleasure to see our gentlemen, craftsmen of the Violin Wise program being honored by such an esteemed organization as the Women's Economic Forum. In 2013, this program was born of a dream of Sri Lalgudi G.J.R. Krishnan, a dream which I shared for several decades as a violin maker, familiar with the plight of the violin in India. With intense devotion and drive, Mr. Krishnan was able to provide great ongoing financial and inspirational support through the Lalgudi Trust, providing necessary specialty tools, equipment, and workspace. Working together, overcoming numerous obstacles and hurdles, we managed to successfully teach India's first formal courses in Western style violin restoration and making, culminating in 2019 with the completion of 4 concert artist grade solo violins patterned after original Antonius Stradivarius. This was a huge effort, and E.D. Murali, his son Vinay Murali, Ranjit Leela Chandran, and Satyanarayana violinist all tirelessly rose to the occasion, all working together to create this historic moment in Indian luthiery. My heartfelt gratitude to the WEF for honoring our effort, and congratulations to all who brought this project to great fruition. Wishing all success in the future. James Wimmer. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. Now I move on to introducing Mr. Murali, who's yet another Ludia, who has been part of this entire workbench project. Mr. Murali lives in Chendamangalam, Ernakulam, Kerala. He completed school studies in 1972. After schooling, joined in Cochin Arts and Communication for studying music under the renowned violinist Rex Isaacs. In 1982, he entered in violin making and started servicing with the help of books and observations. Now he has completed about 40 years in violin making and servicing. And long after 2013, Murali got a chance to join Violin Wise workshop conducted by James Wimmer and Sri G.J.R. Krishnan, organized by the Lalgudi Trust. Now they run a lot of dedicated workshops for violin, viola, and cello. Welcome, Mr. Murali, to this beautiful conference. Next, I'm very proud to introduce Mr. Satya, who's a Satyanarayana. Mr. Satyanarayana is a cine violinist and he belongs to a family of renowned musicians. He has an experience of around 35 plus years in film industry, and he has been composing music, and he is also a music director. He has been practicing restoration of violin nearly for 15 years now. Welcome, Mr. Satyanarayana, to this Workbench Project discussions and to the WEF conference. And next, I'm very proud to introduce Mr. Ranjit. Mr. Ranjit has a very different kind of a background, because I think right from standard 10, Mr. Ranjit was very interested in violin and making violins. He has given a lot of description about how he entered this entire Workbench project. But I would like to, share the passion that he has for making violins, and where he stopped his studies at the age of 10 to completely dedicate his career to making violins. And but of course, he has a background of carpentry, but he has never practiced carpentry. But because of the passion for violin and for making violins and the related instruments, he became a luthier now, and is a very important part of the Workbench project. Welcome, Ranjit, to this workshop and to this discussions. And last but not the least, I would like to introduce the young Mr. Vinay Murali. He is 24 years old, and he is a son of Mr. Murali, who I just introduced to all of you. Murali also lives in Chendamangalam, Ernakulam, Kerala. He has a Bachelor of Vocational Studies in Renewable Energies, Energy Management from St. Albert's College, Ernakulam, Kochi. From the age of 13, he started working with his father for violin making and repairing. And after some years, he got the opportunity to join Violin Wise workshops conducted by Mr. James Wimmer and Sri Lalgudi Krishnan. Now they're running dedicated workshops for violin, viola, and cello. So these are the introductions about our various luthiers and the craftsmen who are going to be joining the discussion. And Krishnan sir, yes, would you like to say something about the Workbench project before I jump into the panel discussion and set the context about the Workbench project and the great work done by the Lalgudi Trust?
Yeah, it is an amazing journey, which now thinking back, I feel it was so perfectly timed. The timing was so perfect. It all finished in the year 2019. Had we been just a year late, this project would never have been completed. So, and as we go on, we'll talk more.
Sure. Thank you, sir. Thank you for that. And, the Workbench project, what they do is they carry out a lot of, restoration of violins, not only about violins, but also for the viola, cello, and the bass instruments. So they do a lot of work in this field. So I would, like to ask you a very interesting question. What actually inspired you to take up this project under the Lalgudi Trust?
Yeah, thank you, Dr. Rajni. All violinists in India have experienced great difficulties with getting their instruments repaired and maintained in India. My sister and I have faced this firsthand. it goes without saying, buying a high quality instrument made in India has been impossible. Most of the violinists, we use our trips to, while going abroad, to address such needs. And or else, if we don't get an opportunity to travel abroad, we'll have to ask some other musician who is traveling. But that is very far-fetched and very remote. At some point, I just got simply tired of waiting and decided to act on this cause.
Okay.
My sister and I, under the auspices of Lalgudi Trust, decided to conduct workshops and train local craftsmen. It was a workshop, first of its kind, and we didn't have experience. We had so many challenges, but we bravely overcame all those challenges. And it's a blessing that James Wimmer of Santa Barbara was kind enough to visit Chennai many times in recent years for several weeks at a time and conducted these workshops. We were fortunate to get a luthier of his experience to offer such hands-on training. Even now, after the series of workshops has ended, he continues to be a mentor and he continues to guide them all. Such a blessing.
Thank you, sir. That was such a nice thought from your family, from you and your sister, Vijay madam. Thank you very much for sharing that. However, is it, it will be very nice if you can share some thoughts on how you went about identifying these craftsmen and how did you go about, what are the qualities that you were looking for in these craftsmen? And of course, you are very well networked across the world and you chose these 4 craftsmen to start with. Can you share throw some light on how you went about identifying them, please?
It's a very, as initially I mentioned, it was a very tough job to make them come for this workshop. Mm-hmm. Several workshops have been conducted, and whoever remained, or these 4, they had that passion, that fire to learn within them, and the skill and talent and patience to learn it all. So that made a huge difference. And we not only made available the right kind of climate, in the sense we provided the right tools for them to learn this art of violin repair. Not only violin, the entire family, as you mentioned, cellos, violas, and bass. Such a blessing again to have had James Wimmer do this. And not only that, we wanted them to continue this art long after the training has been imparted on them. So we gifted them with all the tools, and the workbench was also donated to these 4 journeymen or wonderful craftsmen. And this is a landmark achievement that cannot be overstated. They learned not only free all this, but they also got authentic tools to repair and make violins and repair other instruments of the violin family. And they got it, on top of it, we gave the free stipend also. So all these 4 are such capable, they are comparable with international quality craftsmen.
So while we talk about the workbench, as in the physical form of the workbench, can you share some ideas about how the workbench itself will look from a physical properties kind of a thing for a bench? Because we know a bench, we write on a bench, we work on a bench, but this may have some special qualities, and this may require some, special ways of making the bench itself. So can you share some ideas, or it's a normal bench, sir?
No, it is, it is totally designed to serve the art of violin craftsmen and repair. It was totally unheard of in the Indian context we are used to sitting on the floor, and we didn't have the right tools nor the knowledge. I don't blame the workmen here, but they were not given access to such wonderful facilities. So Mr. James Wimmer learned this art from Europe, German luthier, which was held as a very closely guarded secret. It was a family tradition. And they had this system of having a workbench where all the gluing and putting together of the violin and a lot of lathes were fitted to it, like in a factory. So it is a broad bench, and each one of them, I don't know if they will be able to show it for the viewers. I don't know, we were not prepared for it. So this concept, and they have a particular way of doing things, particular way of assembling the tools and storing them, and to make it look so professional and so aesthetic and beautiful, just as the music that the instrument violin produces. So even to look at the workshop is such a delight, and these four are going to carry it forward.
It's so amazing to hear about the intricacies that go into making the bench itself, the workbench itself. Yeah. Is it possible for some interested people to have a look at the bench just for an academic interest, or if they want to pursue something further, where can they go and have a look at this particular workbench, sir?
Yeah, each of these four craftsmen have a workbench. So I don't know if they will be able to show it now, but they can. We will share their numbers. They are on Facebook. They can be. They are very accessible, and they would love to help and in whatever possible manner to for violin, cello, viola, or bass enthusiasts.
So much of technical finesse and musical finesse go into the making of the workbench, and so interesting to know about it. And I hope people, whoever is interested, they may contact us, and then we'll help you to access and have a look at the workbench, whoever is interested. Sir, would you like to interact with the luthiers who are here today? Vinay, Mr. Murali, Satya sir, and Ranjit. Would you like to talk to them about their experience when they traveled to Chennai and started working with you for 2 to 3 weeks in each of these projects? Would you like to ask them what was their experience?
Yeah, sure. I will first address this question to Mr. Murali. Mr. Murali, what is the best thing that happened to you recently? I would like you to share your reviews. Please unmute and come on the video.
Yeah.
Oh, just a minute. Okay. Hello.
Yes. Your video.
Yeah, sure.
Turn your video, please.
And at the bottom you have, yeah.
Speak.
എന്താണ് അവിടുത്തെ ബെസ്റ്റ് കാര്യം ഉണ്ടായിരുന്നു മറ്റേ നമ്മുടെ ക്ലാസ്സിൽ
കാര്യം എന്ന് പറഞ്ഞാല് ഇപ്പൊ ഞാൻ നേരത്തെ വയലിനൊക്കെ ചെയ്തിരുന്നെങ്കിലും നമ്മള് അവിടെ വന്നിട്ട് കാര്യങ്ങൾ കുറച്ച് സായിപ്പിന്റെ അടുത്ത് കാര്യങ്ങൾ മനസ്സിലാക്കി ജിം സാറിന്റെ അടുത്ത് കാര്യങ്ങൾ മനസ്സിലാക്കാൻ പറ്റും. പണ്ട് നമ്മള് വയലിൻ നേരത്തെ ഉണ്ടാക്കിയിട്ടുണ്ട് ഇഷ്ടം പോലെ, പക്ഷെ അത് ശരിക്കും ഉണ്ടാക്കുന്ന വിധം പഠിച്ചത് ഈ ജിം സാറിന്റെ അടുത്താണ്.
Okay, shall I translate that? So what he's saying is Mr. Murali wants to share that he has been making violins for a long time now. But then after his experience of meeting Mr. Jim J, as he's called, Mr. James Wimmer, he says, he started understanding the intricacies better. And his art itself became more finer. The art of making violins got more finer is what he's saying. So, yes, Mr. Murali, you can continue. Continue, Chidolo. Vinay, can you switch on the video?
Or since Ranjit is available, shall I ask him?
Please, sir, please.
Can you talk about any special moments in the violin voice journey, Ranjit? Unmute.
Namaskaram.
Namaskar.
I started basically as a carpenter. In 2014, I met Lalgudi Krishnan sir and Vijay ma'am after the concert in Kerala, and I showed them my handmade violin created out of my own interest. They were very encouraging. In 2015, Chennai was experiencing floods when the workshop started. I landed from Kerala in Chennai. I was surprised to see Krishan sir come driving in a car to pick me in the waterlogged roads.
Oh.
From then to now, I never expected I would myself create a replica of Strad violin in 2020. James Zimmer sir taught us everything he knew. Still, he guided me. For me, Lalgudi Krishnan sir and James Zimmer sir are both like gods. My thanks to Lalgudi Krishnan sir, Lalgudi Trust, James Zimmer sir, and Lalgudi Vijay ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you.
So kind of you, so nice. Very nicely articulated, Ranjit.
So, do we move to Satya or?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Satyanarayana, please.
Yes, sir. Good morning, everyone.
You want to say anything, please?
Okay.
You can say about the quality of the violin voice workshop.
I'm very lucky to have received training from Lalgudi Trust workshop called Violin Voice. Everything was top quality. James sir taught us with sincerely and discipline. Every moment I learned something new. This is the first and only workshop that has happened in India. Great planning. Highly expensive special tools were given to us for free. Also, workbench like the use in Germany. After attending workshop, we are able to practice. What we studied only because we have the tools. It is only because of Lalgudi Krishnan sir and the Lalgudi Trust, history has been created. My sincere thanks to Jim sir, Krishnan sir, Lalgudi Trust. Thank you.
Thank you. Wonderful. So should I ask the question to Vinay Murli?
Yeah, sure, sir.
Yeah. Now you are the youngest in the team, so I would like you to tell us about what it looks like for the future of this.
Yeah, future. I have planned to make more copies of Strad and Gorneries in what manner the James sir taught me. I'm get honored to have as a student of violin voice workshop, and thanks to expressing my gratitude to Vimar sir, Krishnan sir, and Vijima. And I have a lot of plan to educate students in India how to make violin and the quality of making, then and also playing in terms of playing, how to keep violin clean and keep it very special.
Wonderful.
Yes, sir.
So
Yes. Thank you. Yes, sir.
yeah, thank you, Vinay. You please take over.
Thank you, sir. Sir, I like all of them spoke about the Workbench project, and they gave a special mention about yourself and about Madam Vijay Madam, as well as about Mr. Mr. James Wimmer. I would like to understand what were the special mentoring qualities that Jimji had
Yes,
that that brought the so-called excellence into the project.
absolutely. As I always say, his weakness became our strength. He had a weakness for India, and to come to India and to put up with all these mosquitoes, the weather, and all the challenges. We have had all sorts of challenges, but he had such a brave heart to put up with all these challenges, because it was only the mission that mattered to both of us. He had a similar dream to, as he mentioned in his message, to pass on this art, and he had such a magnanimous heart to pass it on when specifically he was instructed, what you learn within the four walls stays with you, it never should go out. So because we don't blame anybody, it was the way of practicing. It was a family tradition, they wanted to guard it. So but now with changing times, Jimji was able to communicate so well. All these, there were many more who were in the journey, but only these four stayed till the end. And English was the medium of communication. And these people didn't know English, and they talked to him in Malayalam, and he would respond immediately. And he's available right now till this moment, and he's accessible. So this project has reached levels that cannot be thought of, unthinkable, unfathomable levels this has reached, and I'm very happy. So it is a blessing that we had James Wimmer, who could brave the Madras floods, the mosquitoes, and stay away from the family, stay cheerful. One Christmas to stay away from the family said is indeed a challenge. And he did it with all a brave heart and a broad smile. So that this project cannot have happened, would not have happened, but for James Wimmer.
Thank you, sir. I think his resilience, his grit, and
Yeah.
also for the love for the art and the craft, as well as for the people of India, itself, means a lot to us as to all of us as Indians, and all of us who love music.
Yeah,
Thank you, sir.
It is such a historic thing that has happened for Indian music. I just wanted to add, I wanted to give something to this field, which has given me so much. And at the end of it, I wanted to do for the violin field. Violin field beyond the Carnatic music, this has become for the Indian violinists, covering different genres. Not only violins, it has traveled beyond that, cello, violas, and bass. So it is such a, when the intentions and the sincerity and the passion and the dedication is there, I think things will, the consciousness will make it happen. That's the lesson I learned from this.
Thank you so much, sir. I think this conversation will be incomplete if we don't talk about Srimati Lalgudi Vijayalakshmi, the great daughter of late Sri Jayaraman sir, Lalgudi Jayaraman sir, and the sister of Lalgudi Krishnan sir. While Krishnan sir has led it from the front, I think Madam had a lot of sensitive roles to play behind the screens.
Yes.
So, sir, can you just throw some light on that, please? So we get to know about her role as well. I'm sure she's watching this, but we would like to know what her important role in this whole project.
I mean, as trustees of the Lalgudi Trust, it is everything that happens is by consensus. We consult each day and I update her and she gives me inputs, and it is how this has happened, though she's in the background. So we have reached this stage. And one more thing I wanted to mention here with such gratitude, this Lalgudi Trust was instituted by my father and guru to give back to the society. So I am carrying it forward. I should say that this Violin Voice project has the blessings of both my father and my mother, because in the year 2013, it is very relevant in this forum to mention about my mother, because she has been such a support. And in 2013, she inaugurated this Violin Voice, and it was a 21-day workshop plan. Within 10 days, she passed away, unfortunately, but she would never have wanted this to stop because of her. So we had her blessings and we continued with the workshop. We didn't give it up. And so many challenges, both James and myself, we have to bring the tools. I went on a tour. At the end of it, I carried, and James also carried a lot of tools. And that's how this Violin Voice program or the workshop is flourishing. And they are, all these 4 workmen, craftsmen are getting orders, and they need the support of the media. The media should play much greater role to highlight this and bring it to the government's notice, because just 4 craftsmen for this whole of India is not enough. We have plans to take it forward. So I'm just hoping that with the blessings of everybody, this will happen.
So I'm reminded of this when I'm listening to you. Every moment I'm reminded of this great adage which says the universe will conspire. And when you have a strong purpose, you just have to go after the purpose, and you will receive all the blessings from the universe and from your parents. I think you've been doing a great job, and I'm personally so honored to have this conversation with you on this project. And I don't know how many will get this honor to do this. And we move on to the final leg of this discussion, which, sir, I'm sure you have instituted this project, and you have brought the great minds from all over the world to support you and to execute you and to take this. And I'm sure you have very big plans into the future, and sustainably how to carry out this project into the future. And what are your plans in terms of people, process, and who are the brains behind this whole project? Can you share that with us, please?
Yeah, as I was mentioning, Mr. James Zimmer made some 5 trips to make this happen, guiding us every step with every nuance, so that we have reached a stage of perfection. Now, each of them, though not by means of experience, will equal James Zimmer. That can never happen. But they are as qualified to conduct workshops. Now, similar workshops, we are ready to take it to the whole of India, provided we get sponsors. Because one great thing we did was Lalgudi Trust. We did it by ourselves with our own funds. We didn't go for any funding from any other external agency. So we can do only so much. Now we need we had some great philanthropic individuals who helped us nevertheless. But moving forward, such workshops have to be conducted periodically, at least 5 times or 4 times intensively, so that there are many more luthiers serving the cause of Indian violin family, string instrument fraternity. So I hope with the support of the government, the media, and corporates, this will happen. The givers are ready, but the facilitators should make it happen so that the givers can identify the takers and pass on this great art.
Sure, sir. Thank you so much, sir. And I would like to, give 1 minute to each of the Ludias who are here to share any thought that they would like to in this forum. Anything that you would like to ask or share, Ranjit, Mr. Satya, Mr. Murali, and Vinay. Please use this time to do so. Anything you want to share, any important experience? We have 2-3 minutes, so you can use that.
We're all awestruck.
Yeah, I think Vinay is up there with a question or some thoughts.
Yeah, it's like I am first time I am attending a international forum for a meeting. It's the first time. I have some fear about this meeting because I cannot speak properly. I would like to say to all people who are watching this video, you can make or if any are looking.
Oh, we lost him.
The violin wise project to make this happen. Krishna and violin wise project. I mean, Krishna sir is looking to make this happen again in India, and all our string family in Chennai and Kerala will have to make this type of classes again. I'm glad to teach again like James Summer sir in next year.
Wow.
when the class will happen.
Yeah.
And I would like to say thanks to all Women's League in India and this meeting and Krishna sir and James Summer sir. Okay, thank you.
That was lovely.
Yes, Priya?
I think I'm quite overwhelmed myself because I'm not into music, but Sir Lalgudi sir, I think the amazing work you and Mr. James have done, and grateful that you've had that resilience not to give up. And also it's brilliant that we were actually able to get the real people on the stage today. So for all the hard work that each one of you on this panel has done, the Women Economic Forum is really honored and excited to honor Dr. Rajni Sriram and Ms. Vidwan JGR Krishnan with the Leader of the Decade Award. This award is going to be sent to you by mail. It's and we are really grateful and honored to give it to you. Also, we are really thrilled to honor Satya Narayan, Ranjit, Vinay M, and Murli with the Exceptional Leader of Excellence. So each one of you are awarded from the Women Economic Forum, and for all your hard work, and look forward to much more happening from your side. Thank you so much. God bless you.
Oh,
Thank you, everyone. Thank you. And as Priya mentioned, the awards will be sent to you. And thank you for coming and honoring the WEF itself. And thanks for your great thoughts. Lalgudi Krishnan sir, your work is so great. And along with Vijay madam, we are looking forward to more, greatness from the Lalgudi Trust. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Dr. Rajni, and thank you, Priya. And I have been wanting this message to reach, to be spread, to be disseminated by the media. And this, you have provided an excellent forum by which this work gets noticed, because this is highly, richly deserves such attention and hype. I'm thankful to the Women's Economic Forum for this wonderful opportunity, and on behalf of the craftsmen, I would like to thank you for all the awards that you bestowed upon them and conferred on me. And it is, I'm really overwhelmed. I want to individually thank 4 people here, 5 rather. Dr. Rajni Sriraman, Mrs. Priya, Dr. Harbeen Arora, Mrs. Lakshmi Shankar, Mrs. Sandhya Rao, and of course, James Simmer.
Thank you so
Thank you,
much.
sir. Thank you very much. And all the best to all of you.
Thank you. Can I say something, Chair?
Yeah,
Yes,
yeah,
of
please.
course.
Yeah, of course.
Thank you. It is been an honor to have working with all the legends like you. Our journey has just started, so we are looking forward to keep up the good work. Special thanks to Lalgudi Krishnan sir and Lalgudi Trust and James Wimmer sir.
Yes.
All of them, thank you.
Wonderful.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, Satya, sir. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you. Very memorable day.
Thank you, sir, for all of us too. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Priya. Thank you.
Thank you. My pleasure and my honor. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hello. Can I say something?
Oh,
Yes,
I'm
Ranjit,
so
please
excited
speak.
to honor
Yes,
this
Ranjit.
award.
Yes, Ranjit.
I'm so excited. I want to thanks to Women's Economic Forum
okay.
and Lalgudi Trust, again Lalgudi Krishnan sir, James Simmer sir. Thank you.
Keep chasing your dreams like you were in standard 10. Keep chasing your dreams. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thanks.